Evening, everyone, and welcome back to another stream on the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. It has been quite a while since we've gone live, but yeah, we are back, of course, to talk a bit about the new signing. Of course, anyone who wants to come on, I've put a link in the chat if you want to come on and give your thoughts on the new signing, give your thoughts on who we should sign, etc. Then do click on the link if you want to come on. Feel free to come on and let us know your thoughts. But yeah, going to be going over everything, like I said, the new signing, player links, talking about, of course, the fixtures that come out on Thursday, and basically everything to do with Rovers at the minute. So yeah, make sure you drop a like on the video. Get all your thoughts in chat. Any questions, if you have, then let us know your thoughts. But yeah, of course, joined by Neil, back on the channel. Of course, it's been a while, but yeah, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. To be honest, I've been pretty fine with it. To be honest, I missed it too much. To be honest, I've been quite happy for the break. But once the fixtures come out Thursday, then yeah, I'll be looking forward to it again.
Yeah, should be good. Should be good. Even to Bristol Rovers fans saying, "Are you sure we're signing?" Well, McCormick's close. Of course, there's been various different links with Telford. I think the other day we've seen that said on a few pages. I mean, because that's the thing, like anymore, you don't really know what pages to trust or if they have any info. But they said he was joining Port Vale, and then another one I've seen, I think Alan Nixon again put on about Telford with Rovers. So I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I'm going to get involved with, of course, the Rossiter, the new signing. Of course, I've done a video on that earlier, but what's your thoughts on Rossiter? Like, do you know much about him as a player? Of course, you know, like everyone's known by now, he was at Liverpool, scored on his debut, etc. Didn't quite work out. Went to Rangers again, didn't work out. I think he signed there on a 3 or 4 year deal and only played about 20 games. And then, of course, he's ended up at Fleetwood, where Barton, of course, signed him as well. So is there anything much you know about Rossiter?
I mean, yeah, to be fair, I probably know about as much about him as anyone else, to be fair. You know, he's one of them where he was in Liverpool's academy. They had high hopes. They thought he was going to be, he was going to come through. I mean, he's only 25, but from a young age, people will talk about his injuries at Fleetwood. He's been injury-hit forever, to be honest.
Yeah.
And people will see that as concerning, to be honest. But I think he might have been Gerrard's first signing up there, to be honest. He might have been the first one he took, Rossiter. And I think he started all right, to be fair, at Rangers. And again, I just think injuries have got the better of him. And I think the Fleetwood move, to be honest, was one that is Joey probably sold to him to say, you know, it's close to home. You can get yourself playing. Not too much commuting. You ain't got to turn your life around again. You can come back to Liverpool, short commute, get yourself going again. And I know he's not like blitzed 40 games in a season, but I think it sort of makes sense. I mean, you saw my list like when we had a conversation just after the season finished, and he was on it. It was one that made sense to me, Rossiter coming in. And I think it is a good signing, to be honest. And with what he's built as far as a backroom team and how good we are, sort of thing, medically, and the way we do get our players back going again, I think Rossiter will be okay if he can get a Barton pre-season into him, manage his minutes, make sure he doesn't break down, not overload him too early. I think he'll be all right, to be honest. And it might be a matter of managing his minutes. You might not see the best of him again. He might be one of them, you know, like Coots. You might not see the best of him till the turn of Christmas, but we can motor on in that second half of the season. But I like the idea of Rossiter before, you know, as soon as the season finished, he was looking at scouting players and he was looking at what would fit the bill. And, you know, yeah, Rossiter was on my list. Like, well, you've seen my list and he was bang on it. So, yeah, I'm more than happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Matt's in the back. He's going to come in a sec. Just get through some comments as well. Even into Elliot Gordo as well. Even into Mark Gray as well. Like I said, if you have any questions or if you do want to come on after Matt's, then click on the link and we'll get you on to give your thoughts on. Could be anything, you know, with the roster signing, new signings, players you want to sign, anything. I want to try and do that more this season. You know, especially within the summer period with signing transfers, like to get, you know, people more involved in the channel. But yeah, even into Mark Gordo saying, is there any truth behind the Norwood? I'm not sure. Someone, I think it was Gianluca Licata said to me on Twitter that some like random Scouse bloke or said something about Norwood joining. Of course, we've been linked with him. I think we were linked with him in January. Sort of, there was talk around. I think it was sort of paper talk. So I'm not sure what the rumors actually are with Norwood. If he does sign, he's another one though. He's obviously had a great career. He's always been sort of a goal scorer, but again, I think he's 31, 32, and he's had, during his time at Ipswich, he's had sort of injuries, but he's still scored well, but not as obviously much as they'd have hoped him for. I mean, what's your thoughts on the Norwood rumor? Like, do you think we can do better, or what do you make of the rumor? I know it's only rumors, but what do you make of Norwood? Seeing he has been one of the, quite frankly, few players that we've actually been linked with on the striker front.
I don't mind it, to be honest, an Norwood one. I think the talk of him coming to us was when he was being managed by Paul Cook and he fell well out of favour. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I prefer it to the Telford one personally, but I think he knows League One. He's done it in League One. The age thing doesn't bother me. Barton, he loves a senior pro, Barton. Like, I think you'll see more of that in the summer. I think you will see a couple of 30 pluses coming in because he likes it. And if you look at his sort of character and who he is, he sort of fits the bill of the kind of person that Barton likes. He's tenacious. He's a bit of a gobshite, you know what I mean? And that's what Barton likes at the end of the day. He likes winners. He likes people that do anything to get it done. And I think if you watch Norwood play, you don't give fullbacks a minute's peace. He's happy to give away a foul here and there to let people know he's around. He's got a goal in him. He could fit the bill. Do I think we could get better? You could do, but you've seen how Barton recruits. You know what I mean? There's always one in the pipeline. You think, how the hell have we got him? And I spoke at the end of the season. I thought he'd be on the phone every day to Charlie Austin to say, "Come on, like, it makes sense. Look where you live. Look at your age.
Yeah,
it's plenty doable." Sort of thing. If Weiler put his hand in his pocket, but that's the one I'm holding out for. Whether it'll come along or not, Norwood's a more realistic one, but. With Barton and his recruitment, you just think, there is a weird one out there that you'll think, Christ, how the hell have we got him? But that's his pulling power.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to quickly get in Matt's as well, give his thoughts on Rossiter and any other topics he wants to bring in. So going to welcome in. Evening, Matt. How you doing?
Evening, Charlie. Evening, Neil.
All right, fella.
Yeah, not bad. I think Jordan Rossiter is a good signing. From what Joey has said, he will add a lot off the pitch. Mm-hmm. But my gut feeling says he's not going to start ahead of Sam Finley and Paul Coots if all three are at 100%.
Yeah, it's a bit of. I mean, that is an interesting point, to be honest. I think it's going to be a weird one because I think Rossiter will start the season because of course, the ban that Coots has got. And that's where that's what his position is. He's a CDM. Gordo was asking the question as well, saying, what position he is. So it's going to be interesting one. Like Neil said about the Barton pre-season, he definitely needs one of those. I mean, obviously last season he only played 10 games, but the season before he played a fair chunk of games. I think 35 or 36. So it's going to be an interesting one. But I was going to say, what sort of other players you think we should go for, or sort of what's the main priority signing for you, Matt, this summer?
I'd say centre backs, so two solid starter ones. Mm-hmm. James Conley looks like a fair shout. Connor Taylor, you never know, but I think we can get better players, better League One defenders than him. And then one area I'm kind of stuck on is, do we go for a striker or do we go on the left wing? And then whichever one we go for, if Collins was to start, I'd put him in that other slot. I can't think of much on the left wing front, but I liked the idea of signing Tyler Walker. Mm-hmm. And the other name I think would be a great 8-1 because he's an established League One goal scorer and he's played in the Championship. That's Tom Eaves. I think he'd be a great signing to have.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair one, to be honest. I think obviously he's been at Hull, like you said, he's done class in League One. Obviously he was at Rovers on loan 9-10 years ago. The times when we had Kenneth and Virgo and stuff like that, and he's still done all right for us then. But obviously now I think he's 29, maybe even 30, and he's had a lot of experience, done really well at Gillingham in a poor side, but scored 15 to 20 goals there a few seasons in a row. Then he done well at Hull in League One, and now of course I don't know if he rejected it or he's just run out his contract, but yeah, like you said, he's a free agent. Yeah, it would be a good signing. It's going to be interesting because a lot of people I've seen have said, maybe play Collins on the wing, which is a possibility because he's played there obviously a few times this season. But yeah, I think that's fairly good. If we can bring Eves in, to be honest. But yeah, I appreciate you joining, Mats, and keep up the quality support as always on the channel.
Cheers. Looking forward to the season.
Cheers, Mats. So that was Matt's thoughts. So I'd say evening to a few more people as well. Evening to Bruno. Bristol Rovers fan asking, but then Gordo saying, yeah, it's sort of a box to box, but he's mainly basically a Coots. I think it's a Coots role, really. I mean, with you, Neil, do you think he's going to be a sort of a bit part player, or do you think he'll look to come in straight away and try and fight for the position during, especially with, like I said, Coots? I think the first 3 or 4 games he's not playing. Going
to be 3 at least, isn't it?
Yeah. So
no, I don't think Barton has any passengers, to be honest. If you're fit, you're challenging, to be fair. And if you look at the way that double scrim works, whoever's in there, you're going to pick up bookings and suspensions throughout that season. That's just how it is. Like, you look at how Finley and Coots worked in that double screen throughout the season. If one wasn't getting booked, the other one was. And then you've got to look at replacing them with a suspension, or, when they do pick up a red, or they could pick up a 3-gamer and injuries play their part, then going Saturday, Tuesday. So it's not like it's nailed down to 2 people at the end of the day. So I think they're all gonna sort of interchange and have to deal with playing alongside each other. But he does fit the bill, Ross. Like I said, he was on my list early because he can play in that double screen. When he is fit, he's got plenty of legs about him. He can go up and down, but he can also go in at fullback as well. He has played fullback before, so he's versatile as well. And at 25, if you can get him up to speed and make sure his body isn't breaking down as often, he will be an asset.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Napper's messaged me earlier. I did try to get him on, but he's busy tonight. But he did say to me that he is one hell of a player. But obviously, yeah, it's just about keeping him fit. And I think, like you said, the Barton pre-season will doing good. Yeah, of course, saying too many Scousers. Yeah, there is a lot of Scousers now, especially at Rovers. You got, Saunders, Evans, Rossiter. Who else? I think there's just way too many.
You had one in and one out today, didn't you? Because obviously Warner's gone the other way.
Yeah, Warner. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, I think it's just because it's a opportunity, really, you can't turn down, isn't it? Really, Championship, and he's obviously going to be with ex-Loney keeper Joe Lumley, who's just gone there on loan. So, but
I think he would have been. I think he would have been with Ince at Liverpool as well. So they probably know each other pretty well. But like you said, at the end of the day, it's a career promotion, isn't it? He's going up into the Championship. I don't know what Reading's finances are like these days, sort of thing. But it's obviously a better move, isn't it? He's going up in the world. It's probably a bit of a sickener for Belly because I think they work well together. They got on well off the pitch and on it. But I don't think it's probably come out of the blue. They'd have known about it for a while, and I expect irons are in the fire to get another one in to work with Belly, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Even to Rob Savek as well. Gordo saying better watch out what all the wallets with the Scousers about. Evening to Rob as well. Evening to you. Do hit a like on the video if you are enjoying it, though. Keep getting your thoughts. If you do want to come on, I'll put the link again in chat for anyone that wants to come on, talk about the new signing or anything to do with Rovers related, talking transfers, etc. So I've just put the link in chat again. Feel free to come on. Don't have to be for long. You can just come on and say what you think. Gordon is saying Collins and Telford would be interesting up front. Kai, even into Kai as well. Do you think Luke McCormick will sign this week? Jordan Rossiter is a solid DM, and what do you think the outcome will be on Barton court case? I completely forgot about the Barton court case. It's weird though, isn't it? Because all this thing, he went on holiday with his missus and all the kids to Bahamas. It seems pretty sound, but I think it will be all right. I think he wouldn't been. Surely the club would have knew a little bit behind the scenes within the transfers and who's going to looking to bring in. So, what's your thoughts on that, Neil, about the court case? Do you think it'll be fine, or are you slightly worried?
No, I think it'll go under the radar. To be honest, I think it'll pass by without, and I don't think anyone will mention anything of it. I just think it'll go by the wayside. I don't think you. Why would you want? It's not like it's not good press, is it, to say that you've been successful in a trial? I think you just let it fly by. To be honest, let it go under the radar. If people want to bring it up, then they can do. But I don't think there's going to be any grand announcement about it. But I don't see any issue with it. At the end of the day, Rossiter's not going to sign a 2-year deal for a manager that's going to be going to prison, is he? So. No,
exactly. Yeah, like you said, I think it'll just stay under the radar, to be honest. But yeah, Luke McCormick's it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like I said in previous videos, we've seen what he's about. I don't know when he's going to sign. You've obviously that Alan Nixon, who's very, he's got all the followers and he's got things right on Twitter. Go and search him up if you want to keep on tabs with that, because he's mainly the one that's been doing it. The journalist has been talking about. I think McCormick they were back in training either today or yesterday. I seen a tweet he put out earlier with Lee Brown, but I'm not sure. Even if we do sign him, what sort of role do you think he'll play? Because obviously his main position is a cam, but he can also play wide. It's going to be interesting. Do you think Barton will sort of stick to the formation that he's played last season, or do you think he might try and change it up, especially the way with Collins is played well with a target man before? Or do you think what do you make of the whole McCormick situation?
I think he knows Macca, doesn't he? So he's worked with him before. He knows exactly what he can get out of him. Macca will be looking at it and go, well, that's the best football I've played in my career under Barton at Rovers. So he'll see it as a good suit. As far as where he's going to play, I think he's pretty versatile again through the middle of the pitch. So Macca, I think he can play deeper if he needs to, because he has got legs about him. He is honest. He does go and help out behind the pocket. He can play in the L. He has played in the L, but I think if you do draft him in, I think you will probably see him playing more central and seeing what Evans did towards the back end of the season, and drifting a little bit wider potentially if you're going to play sort of one in the pocket, 2 wide, and Collins up top on his own. But it all depends on recruitment. I fully expect Joey to go and get a big target man, to be honest, because Leon was decent for us when he played it. He was necessary. He took the sting out of the game. It's just various options of what suits, what game at what point in the season. So I expect he's going to recruit to cover all bases, to be honest. And if you look at what he does recruit, they're normally pretty versatile. You don't look at anyone and go, he's going to play there solid constantly throughout a season. People normally get moved about. You've got the odd one like Coots, who will play in a double screen and nowhere else.
Yeah.
Finley's gone and played in the Old before. Josh Grant is versatile as hell, can play anywhere. You look at a lot of that side, they have got a specific position, but they're not nailed down to it. They are versatile, and we can chop and change. You've seen he likes to go from a 3 to a 4 before. Mm-hmm. He'll look to go for an option of potentially being able to go 2 up top rather than 1. So I think he's going to recruit for versatility, and Macca sort of does fit in that because he can play 1 or 2 different positions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I've seen loads of people saying about, don't sign him because he's been relegated twice in a row. It's like
it does come into the thinking though. I mean, it does come into the thinking though, because if you've stepped up to a level and you're playing in relegated sides, ultimately you are part of that. And a lot of managers don't like the culture of relegated players. They don't want relegated players in their side. They want people who are on the up. So I think the bonus for Macca is that he's worked under Barton and Joey knows him, so that's the bonus. But if you looked at when we went down before, he wasn't interested in keeping many that got relegated. He wanted wholesale changes and get them right out the door, and he didn't really bring in many that had come down with us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true, but it's still like confuses me a bit because you've seen his quality, the stats speak for itself. Even this season or the season just gone, sorry, at Wimbledon, I think he got 14 goal contributions, and like you've seen Wimbledon fans, and obviously I get your sort of point and other people's points, but I still find it a bit weird when he's got 13 goals in the last 2 seasons as sort of a midfielder attacking cam. But I still get people's reasoning to see with the losing mentality or whatever.
Is there ever demand for him though? Like, we're a League One club now in for him. Is there any other League One club in one? What is the demand for Mako? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what his options are.
Yeah, well, I think Alan, the journalist, said that there was one other club in for him. So I don't know if it's League One or League Two, but yeah, it's gonna be.
You'd imagine it was League One because they're gonna have to pay a fee for him anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously that's the other point as well with Rossiter, that obviously we've paid a fee for him. Obviously, when I done my video earlier, it didn't say on the actual Rovers website that how long the deal was either, but obviously on the Bristol Live, it said a 2-year deal, which is fair enough. But yeah, it would be interesting to know what the fee is. But yeah, I've got another. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I think if you was to look at what's happened over the course of the last sort of week or so, if you was to say to me next season you could either have Sammy, Nick, or Macca, I'd probably take Macca, to be honest.
Yeah, I would as well. I mean, getting on to Sammy Nicholson, obviously I did do a video about it, but I wasn't going to sort of wait for this time now to do sort of a live stream so we can get it all in one and get people's thoughts live, which I will do whenever we get a sign in. I'll do a normal video and then I'll do a live later on to get people's thoughts. But yeah, what is your thoughts on Nicholson going? Because we've said on other streams previously throughout the season and in other normal videos, people it's sort of been literally a 50-50 split on Sammy. What's your thoughts on him, especially after this season? Obviously, we've seen what he can do in League One. In obviously a really poor team, but in League Two, where it's a bit more physical, better players around him, fans back in stadiums, because of course he didn't get to play with Rovers fans in League One. So what did you make of that situation and his time?
I think it makes sense, to be honest. I think it's a good move for all parties, to be honest. I think if Sammy Nick was to look at his career, he's probably had people in his ear and advise him. That's probably the best place for him to be, because I don't think his body. If you look at how he's been over 2 years, he's always looked like he's, other than the purple patch he had sort of when we got relegated, he's always looked like he's carrying something. He never looks fully fit, and I just think maybe, the climate, the weather, the slower pace of the MLS will suit him over the course of a season, and obviously, with his missus and a young kid, his lifestyle is going to be enhanced. You know what I mean? He knows Colorado. He's been there. He's seen it. It's nothing. He's not going into the unknown.
No,
it's probably an opportunity that came along. He thought, I can't turn this down. And professionally, it's probably going to better him career-wise, because I just think his body breaks down in the EFL. It's too big a demand for him. Whenever I saw him last season, I just think he just always looks like he's carrying something. Even when he has the odd good game, he still looked like he was carrying. He never looked like he was going to see the best of him. He looked like he was playing like 75%. I think maybe MLS will suit him better, to be honest.
Yeah, I fully agree. Keep smashing the like there. 161 of you in at the moment. If we can get 100 likes and then get it up even more, that'd be class. Do subscribe if you're new as well. And make sure you turn on notifications so when any other normal videos or live streams going live, plenty of content will be coming over the season, like we've done last season. Previews every week, try and get more fans' thoughts. Like I said, there is a link on the live stream if you want to come on and give your thoughts on any signings, the new signing, anything to do with the gas, and do come on and let us know. But yeah, it was I tell you what, he's got to be. it's obviously no fault for him not trying, because that's you can say that he puts in effort, but the amount of chances he misses, like he misses the easier ones as well. He tends to score goals from harder angles, but that was what was obviously annoying. Obviously, there's countless ones I can remember. There was I can't remember who it was, whether it was Port Vale or
Tranmere was the worst
Rochdale.
one. Tranmere at home was the worst one.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Bloody Tranmere at home. Yeah, when he literally, I think it was Finley crossed it in, and he was 4 yards out, and he.
But again, I think a fully fit Sammy Nick probably tucks that away, and his goal return's probably better. I don't think his inability to score goals. I just think he always looks like his character just didn't look right, and I think that maybe that's just the demand of the league and how physical it is. Playing overseas, like, it is easier. Like, trust me, it is easier. Like, the climate's a lot nicer. You're on a mould all year round. And the pace of the game's slower. Climate's lovely. It's nicer to go training in. It's just, I think it'd suit him better. Like, if he was a big burly area centre half, it's a bit different. But for a nippy little winger that, you've seen the state of his socks and his ankles, and most wingers in the EFL, they're battered. And I just think Sammy Nick looked like he was carrying some all the time playing for us. I just think MLS suit him miles better.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I mean, like you said, just wish him all the best. Like you said, young family, just go out there, relax, play good football, good weather. But yeah, you can't fault his effort and what he has put into the club for the last 2 years. So yeah, all the best to Sammy as well. Rob saying, I'm more concerned about a solid defence. Belly, Taylor, Connolly were solid. Who we going to play there? That's the one that is. I mean, I trust Barton with transfers, but it's going to be interesting because obviously we were linked with Connolly to come back on a permanent, and then he didn't actually want to sign the contract. It was a clause in his contract that's kept him there for another season. So whether we get about that on loan, I think the thing that worries me is that we sort of a little bit, not worries me obviously 100%, but a little bit, is that the fact that obviously we've been interested and linked with them coming back. Sort of Elliot Anderson. I think Elliot Anderson's a bit more tougher because he's got a load of clubs, especially Championship, wanting him as well as us. But with Connolly and Taylor, a lot their managers have said, "Oh, we'll see how they get on in pre-season, etc." So, I mean, obviously Barton's going to have plenty of players, shortlisted, and they'll be scouting. But what do you make of the centre back? Because I agree as well. I think obviously left back we're sorted. You've got Grant, Trevor Clark, Anderton. Anderton can do a job in centre back as well. And then right back's another one. Obviously we still need a right back because we've only got one. But what do you make of the sort of centre back options, and with Connolly and Taylor maybe or maybe not coming back? What do you make of it?
I'm pretty relaxed about it, to be honest. I mean, over the course of 2 windows under Joey, he's proved himself to be decent in the market. Like, whatever time they come in, I'm sure it's not like he's not working on it. There'll be irons in the fire. There'll be conversations being had. Deals might have been done already. It's just a matter of getting it ticked off, to be honest. I am pretty relaxed about it. I've got no idea if the lads are going to come back on loan or not. But whoever he goes for, like, we will get centre halves. He's not going to ignore it. We will get centre halves, and I'm pretty comfortable. Like, I'm as comfortable as I've ever been in a window, to be honest. Now I've seen like Joey operate in 2 of them. He normally, I think probably you'd look at it, probably 95% of it he's got right. I think he's only had 1 or 2 duds, to be honest. The rest of them have all done what they're meant to do. So I'm pretty relaxed about it. Whether we get Connolly and Taylor, one of them, both of them, whoever else, but I'm sure he'll get centre halves that he wants and he likes. If what he won't do is go and get someone for the sake of it.
No, of course not.
You just don't work like that, Joey. If it's not better than what we've got, then he won't get someone just to fill a hole.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's literally it's true. With the fact that he wants quality. I mean, obviously last year it was about both, and it pretty much was, like you said, even the best managers, don't get all of the signings, right. And it was only one or two, if that. Even the ones which people say, "Oh, why did we get Leon Clark? His age, etc., his injury." He still won his points, won his games, and and it's like you said, he's going to want, I think, more quality. I think off my head, probably 9, maybe 10 players. I think.
Well, if you
maybe
look
even
how he
less than that.
operates, if you look how he operates in the window, he looks to sign players that are superior to the level they play at to try and get them out of that, and he's gonna recruit window by window, to get us over the line. So I know people are talking about Telford, etc. I just think he's going to look for better than that, to be honest. I don't think he's going to look in League Two. No, I know Telford scored a lot of goals in League Two, but if you look at Azza, what is he 4 off him? So I mean, it's a minor improvement on what we've already got in it. And Telford's going to be looking for a 3-year deal somewhere on a nice bit of money, considering he's going on a free. So I just think Barton's probably looking at a Championship centre forward, probably, that's got something to prove, rather than a League Two striker that's looking to make his way in League One.
Yeah,
I just think that's the way he looks. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, last summer we signed Harry Anderson, who played in a League One playoff final. Like, that's daft. That don't happen, and that's the kind of pulling power that Barton has. And so I just don't think he's going to be knocking around League Two for players.
Yeah. I agree. To be honest, I agree. Although he would be good, like you said, Barton is going to want to try and get players that have done it in League One, because Telford, all of his, he's only had really 2 good seasons. Obviously last season and the season with Bury under Ryan Lowe, when I think they won the league or got automatic promotion, and obviously the next season the club was done.
But if I'm Collins, I'm scratching my head at that. If he comes in, I'm like, well, he's 4 goals off of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the back end of my season, I'm getting into positions and learning that 9 role and scoring tap-ins in getting across centre halves in 6-yard box and improving. Do you know what I mean? If Collins would have started the season and been coached at the level that he had been up until the end of it, he could have got golden boot, I reckon, in League Two.
Yeah, quite easily.
Because look at Telford. I think he went on a dry spell for ages. He scored all his goals early doors and then went on a dry spell. So it's swings and roundabouts. I'd rather keep Collins, and if you was to say who would you rather have out of the 2, I'd rather have Collins, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it was a really big dry spell as well. I'm pretty sure it was like, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, say in the comments if I am, but I'm pretty sure he went up till got all of his goals before January, then didn't score at all. It was something crazy like that. So he got because he had 23 in 20 games, and then literally the last.
That's what I mean. It's roles reversed. What did Azza go? 18.
Yeah, that's
back
the same
one against Oxford, and that was it. He was flying. So I just think if he'd have kicked on earlier, he'd have got that golden boot anyway. And then people are looking at Telford saying, well, he's the top goal scorer in League Two, but that could have easily been Collins. I just think it's too similar to fill a space in the squad, to be honest, when you could be looking at someone who's been there, done it, maybe creeping towards 30 or just gone 30, got a bit about them, and can, contribute to getting goals from someone who's played at that level consistently.
Yeah, I agree. What's your thoughts on that? If Anzi has coaching badges, would you have him as our new goalkeeper coach?
No, it's too wet behind the ears, I think, for it, really. He's never coached, has he? Still very well saying you can go into it, but again, I think if you look at what Barton does with his team, he likes people that have got a bit behind them, to be honest. I know Hill and Mangan didn't, but I think he'd been alongside them previously and worked with them, sort of thing. And as good as goalkeeper Anstey was, I don't think he can coach Belly the way that Belly plays, because how is he going to coach him with his feet and how to play? Because he never played that way himself. I think you've got to try and find a goalkeeping coach that's going to suit Belly, that Belly's happy to work with.
Yeah, I completely agree. Even into one as well. Hello, guys, up the gas, up the Argentinian gas. Vamos. Hope you're doing well. Mike Starsen would have liked to see Sammy stay in league. His game is suited better to League One. Yeah, it's sort of the same with me with when I mentioned a few weeks ago about the Luke Thomas maybe coming back. I think he's sort of similar, suited to League One. But yeah, I think that's a fair point, saying Sammy's suited to League One. I think it's just a bit more. What's the word for it? I think it's a bit more. Even though League Two's fast paced, I think League One is proper, in your face, fast, a lot of attacking. Whereas League Two is, don't get me wrong, it's still good football and attacking, but it's more sort of different in a way. So yeah, I agree. Even to Riley as well, saying, all right, lads, I'm a bit late. No worries if you're late. Even to Jason as well. Even to Charlie as well. What players do you think will be more suited to League One style football? I think he's saying in our squad at the moment. What do you reckon? Sort of players that's already.
I think most of them. You look how he's recruited. Again, it's players that have
already played there,
done League One sort of thing. So I think the majority of them, it will be brand new to players like Anderton, but I think he's got to learn quick, and I think that will be Barton's way. You learn quick or you get moved on. There'll be no passengers.
No,
but I think the majority of them would be comfy. To be honest, if you was to, I know we've lost our centre halves and our loan players, etc. But if you was to take that side and stick it in League One now, it'd be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. If there's any other questions, or if people again want to come on, the link's in chat, so feel free to come on. Keep getting in your questions. Keep liking the video as well if you haven't already. Even to Elliot as well. Barton, as I was playing the best football I've seen in 30 years. I've been watching the gas. I trust him 100% in the transfer market. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, best football. And yeah, I'm the same, really. Even into that as well. Should be interesting playing Sheffield Wednesday this year. Absolutely buzzing for that, Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, he likes a Bannon quality stadium. I know we've played them before in League One, but that was 10 years ago? I think that was the season we got relegated as well. When is the home shirts coming out? Don't have a clue, Rich. I haven't seen anything to do with shirts. Yeah, I just can't wait though. Obviously, we go over the fixtures in a minute as well. Obviously they're out at 9. I think I might do a live stream. Most of you that don't know, I'm doing night shifts now. So back to night shifts. So I could probably do that, even though I'd be tired by doing like a 9.5 hour shift and then coming in. I might do a stream, or maybe leave it a bit later like we're doing now and get a few people on, including Neil, talking about it. But yeah, home shirts, away shirts, I don't have a clue. Even into Luke as well. Can see Taylor coming back with Stoke signing Flint and another centre-back on loan a few days ago. Yeah, hopefully then that happens. Fingers crossed. Jason saying, what signings have gone to other League One clubs that you wish we had signed? Sorry if you discussed already. No, I haven't discussed. I think obviously we were linked with Butcher. Obviously he's now gone to Plymouth. I've seen bits of him. I don't know loads about him, but he had a good season with Accrington. He finished 12th, which is pretty mad. But others, I don't think. Obviously, that's another one I wanted to talk to you about. I know you're sort of not I think you're like 50-50, or you're not too bothered about it. But what's your thoughts on Camps? Because he was linked. He's been linked with us for ages, and Stockport. And this was an interesting one. If any of you haven't seen the news, that Stockport signed someone from the National League from Torquay, ex-City player, Connor Lehman Heavens, who's done very well at Torquay in the last 2-3 years. Obviously, been playing against Stockport a lot. But they signed him, and so then Camps, basically that's his position. So what do you make of Camps? Do you think it's finally going to happen, or what do you make of him? Because obviously I think people know my thoughts. I really like Camps. He's been at Fleetwood. I think don't know if he rejected a new deal or if his contract ran out and he just thought, I'll try and get another club or what. So what do you make of him, Camps? Do you think we'll get him, or?
I mean, as far as getting him, I don't think it's one that could be done. He's obviously worked with Joey probably like working. Most people who do work with Barton seem to like working with him. So I'd have thought if he shows an interest and a discussion could be had to bring him in. I mean, the thing with Camps for me is his stats and his figures don't outweigh the hype that people are giving him. Like, people are talking about him like he's some absolute world beater. I mean, if you look at his stats, they're pretty bang average, to be honest. Like I said, whoever Barton brings in, I'll never question it, because his recruitment's been faultless. So I'll never go, don't like that one. That one won't work. I can't see that one making sense. But there's nothing to suggest that it won't, because Barton's recruitment's been that good. But for me, like, if he comes in, fine. But I'm hearing people talk about this bloke like he's going to absolutely rocket us to the Championship. Like, he ain't that guy. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to suggest he is that guy. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, he's Stockport were in for him. Okay, Stockport are going to have a right good go at winning that League Two. That's just how they're going to operate, because they've got oodles of money and they're going to go and look to spend their way to get up. And good luck to him. I think he's a Stockport lad as well, isn't he, Camps? I think he's from Stockport.
I'm not
or
sure
like sort of like Manchester way, like that Greater Manchester way sort of thing. If it isn't Stockport, it's somewhere close anyway. Mm-hmm. So that was probably the way they were trying to go, and they're gonna pay good money in that league. But other than us, who else is linked to Camps? That's what I mean. Like, if he's that good, why is it like no one else is floating around for him? I just think
that is true,
for all the talk and all the hype for how good this lad is, his stats don't suggest that, but everyone thinks he's amazing. It's just a weird one for me. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, it is true, because I haven't seen anyone else linked with him apart from us. I know, obviously, some links don't get put out or whatever, but and obviously the other thing is that when they've signed someone from the National League instead of Camps, which is the other bit of a weird thing as well. Like you said, I mean, even me, I've probably gone out there and said, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like some like fans have put him way up there and like he's in a different league to us, which isn't the case. Don't get me wrong, he's a quality player. He's done well in League One. He's had, come through the academy at Rochdale, played over like 200 games, then went to Fleetwood, done well there, done pretty well last season in a bit of a different role. I think Fleetwood played more of a 4-5-1 last season with only one striker, and then Camps has dropped. But yeah, like you said, though, that is an interesting point you make out, that you got Stockport trying to win League Two and they've chosen a National League player over him, which is a bit weird, but who knows? We'll wait and see. I'm sure there'll be even more links with Camps. If we get him, who knows? But yeah, we'll see in the next few weeks. Luke Warlock saying Millwall favourites for Elliot Anderson. Unfortunately, would learn back. Without him, we'd still be in League Two. Yeah, I think, there's a few. Millwall, you got QPR. There's a lot of clubs that will want him and will be looking at him throughout pre-season. So yeah, Mike saying, got to agree with Neil. Joey Barton is bang on with recruitment. Yeah, like you said, it was only Hughes really, and even that, a lot of people were happy that we were getting him, because
the duds I talk about, to be fair, if it weren't for injury, they could have come good. You just know, like the Pittman one was weird. It was just weird. Like, somehow his Achilles just went bang out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden we got a player who's absolutely fucking useless, like no good to us because he can't do nothing. It's unfortunate, because I still think he could have scored goals in that league, but the way our side evolved and how dynamic we were, he was never going to fit into it, because he's like Series 2 turning.
He's just way too slow. We got
the Hughes one again. I just think he was caught in the midst of a team that was shocking. We were still evolving. And his age was against him because he just could not adapt. But then again, we went to play in a 4, and he would have never lived in that. He would just never ever got close to it. So, I mean, yeah, they were a couple of duds, to be honest. But I think like injury and certain circumstances went against them. But yeah, in all honesty, they were never getting close to our best side.
And even it tells you a lot, doesn't it, about Hughes? Because when he left us, what did he do? went and retired to do his coaching badges. So that just
Well, I think
tells you-
his body give up on him. I just think his
Yeah.
body did give
Yeah,
up on him.
yeah. Because even when you see him at Warsaw, he was like probably saying stuff to you when in that way, and at Warsaw, like,
I mean,
yeah, just
nice enough lad, like nice fella and that. And to be fair to him, he said like, we will go up. Like once this gets going, we'll be able to stop, sort of thing. But he probably thought he'd be part of it. To be fair.
yeah. Even to Christian as well. Even in boys is probably crap, but I've heard Barton is interested in Andy Carroll. What a signing that would be! Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that he'd be unreal. But he's never. I've done one for a laugh. You know, let's reunite them. You know, both in there, Newcastle. But he's never going to come to Rovers. Never in a million years. Can we go up next season? Why not, in it? Dream bigger, as they say. I mean, what's your realistic? Obviously, it's thrown out there now, but obviously we'll have a better understanding. Obviously, come January and come when we signed all our players. But I think we done it maybe a month or two ago, just after the season's finished. But what's your early predictions? I mean, I will actually be doing. Sometime this week, I will be doing my early predictions. A few people have asked me to do it, so I'll do it by the end of this week, probably. But what do you think? Early predictions without Rovers only making one signing. We've still got Westbrook, we've still got Rodman, but overall, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it is difficult to say. We ain't got a centre half at the club, so it is difficult to say at the minute. But I think. I mean, Joey's made his intentions clear of what he's looking to try and do this season. He's not looking to just make up the numbers. He's going to have a right good go at it. So, his recruitment come the end of it will suggest that, you know, there's going to be some players there that are going to want to operate at the top end of that league. So, first and foremost, without anyone coming through the door, like the fact that we've just brought in Rossiter and we've nailed down Evans, to me, we'll be more than comfortable. Top half. We'll have a top half finish. I'm more than confident that we'll finish sort of in and around 10th. It all depends on what he can bring in early, if he can get us up and running a bit earlier than what we did last season to make our life a bit easier, and what he does in the January window. Because, I mean, the Elliot Anderson thing saw us straight get us over the line, because if you look at the points that we've acquired with him in our side, I'm not saying that we're going to get him back or anything, but if he can do a bit of work in January, once you just got to be in the hunt, if you know what I mean. You've got to be in the hunt once you get to that window. But for me, if someone was to say Rovers are going to be knocking around sort of like, you know, 15th, 16th next season, I say nah. I think we will. I think we'll be up and around 10th-ish. I think we will be competitive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in the end, I wasn't too far off, but I did look very stupid come, what was it? Halfway, just over about 20-30 days before January, because I had Rovers. Well, even in the first 2-3 months, I looked stupid because I said us to win the league. But in the end, it wasn't too far away. Only if we'd have done it a month or two earlier, I think we would have won the league. If you look at our form as well, it was just mad to only lose 3 games since January. It's still mental, to be honest. Which grounds are you most looking forward to? I think Pompey again. Sheffield Wednesday is definitely the first one I'm looking forward to. Never been there. Massive stadium. Barnsley. Ipswich again. Really like Ipswich Stadium. Obviously, last time we went there, we were 4th in League One. Before Coughlin left us and brought in the magician, the most amazing coach ever in Ben Garner. But yeah, I mean, it's basically, the same things, really. I'm at Booker's now. I don't know if anyone's heard of Booker's, basically like a wholesale company. Yeah, got all of the night shift supervisor. Love it. Pingo saying, how would you react if we try and recreate the infamous Tesco shirts? I don't know. It's the home that I'm more looking forward to the away one, to be honest. The home ones will never beat like the 90s ones. I think even this year's one, it was okay, but Yeah, it's an interesting one. Adam saying, what's a new signing like? Never seen him. Basically a mixture between, I said it on my video earlier, he's sort of like a Paul Coots and Finley mixed in between. That he's, like I said, he's good on the ball, box to box, and a DM. He can play sort of various. Neil also said, I didn't realise that he can play sort of slotting at right back, which is obviously good for versatility as well. So yeah, looks to be good. This is an interesting one from Matt. Start one, bench one, drop one. Evans, Camps, and McCormick. What would you do out of that?
Start one, bench one, drop one. I start Evans. I bench Macca and I drop Camps because I know Macca can do it for us. Like at the end of the day, so yeah. That's out of them three.
Yeah. Would rather have Mac. Yeah, me too. I'd rather have him over there. Up the fucking gas saying gas, love it. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm at the one in Fish Ponds. Yeah, Fish Ponds. Big up to Paul as well. Appreciate you tuning in, even into Chad as well. Still think we'll sign Austin. Who knows?
Be lovely.
That's the one. I think Neil really wants that one. Obviously anyone would, but
it's a pipe dream. I just think it makes sense if you look at like Charlie lives in the southwest. He's got nothing to prove. He's going to want to go and do something for what is he now, 32? He's going to want to be sold a little project to him to say like you can probably win a league here or something, because he's not just going to knock around in the championship and finish 12th. Do you know what I mean? And like come off a bench, wind up with 8 goals in a season. If you're going to keep playing, you want to go and do something. So, but I might be able to sell it to him. Like played with him before, gets on well with him. They're good. It's clear to see they're good mates. From QPR, I just think it's doable. It's just whether Alcardi put his hand in his pocket, because it ain't going to be cheap. It ain't going to be cheap.
Nah.
But he's openly stated he's not interested in travelling. Like if someone like Norwich come in for him, he would not be interested. Just too far. Yeah. So it's gonna be either sort of southwest or a certain area of London. I'd have thought. That's about what you're looking at. So we're in the mix, but whether we get him or not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Keep hitting the like button there if you haven't already. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Keep smashing the like button. Like I said, 100 likes, even get to it as well. Don't forget to check out the video earlier as well if you already haven't, for a bit of a shorter stance on the Rossiter signing as well. Our momentum will hopefully continue, so got to go for playoffs. Hopefully, it's a tough league. Probably one of the. I always say that when we go into League One, but it is. You look at some of the teams, like it's crazy, to be honest. Even into Gashead Steve as well. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Wednesday have just confirmed. Yeah, that's a quality signing. That Will Vokes on a free transfer as well. Quality signing. I mean, that midfield of like, what is it? George Byers, Barry Bannon, and Volks is just crazy. I think Wednesday will definitely be aiming for automatics, without a doubt. No excuse, Rovers not being home first game. Last 15 seasons, only 3 times at home because at bloody Bloom Festival. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we never win our first game of the season, do we? So, when was it? I think the last time we won was it AFC Wimbledon away? When Virgo.
Can't. Oh yeah, the Virgo penalty, wasn't it?
Scott McLeish was doing backflips and all that.
Yeah, look how that season. Look how that season turned out.
That was our first. I think pretty sure that was our first.
Lines' last game before he went to Wednesday.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
He never started. Buckle never started him.
Nah, God, Buckle, mine. Christ. The team we've had at the end of the last season would have been promotion chasing in League One for sure. I think we're hands down the best team in the league leading up to it. Get Connor Taylor back and maybe Telford and think we'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah, he does. He does. Loads of Swindon fans we've been like, "Oh, come back!" Oh, because obviously, if you didn't know, he was at Swindon. He was class at Swindon.
Hungerford.
Is it Hungerford? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too far then. Can we not swap Westbrook for Mac? Oh, I mean, I don't think Wimbledon mean, that's another one. People forget that he's still got a year left. Obviously, I'm guessing we're going to be trying to get rid of him or what. So, yeah,
Kings Lynn, isn't it? Kings Lynn.
Yeah, Kings Lynn in the National League North or South, whatever they're in, because they got relegated, didn't they? With the mighty, I can't even remember his name now. He was that much of a
Widdrington.
Oh, that's it, Widdrington. Christ. Oh my God, yeah. With Tyler Walker, and he's got his own son, and he as well, in the team. So, yeah, home form is vital. Yeah, I agree. I think the last few seasons, obviously not the relegation season, obviously, because we were the shambles, but the few seasons before that, under Darryl and Coughlin, our home form was up there with the very best. It was the away form that was pretty bad. But yeah, like you said, home form is always, no matter what sort of season, you need your home form to be very good. Yeah, hopefully we can get Connor back. I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, obviously, getting onto your shortlist quickly. What's your thoughts on a right back? Do you think who have you got on your shortlist for a right back? Because I think that's definitely a position we'll be going in for how good Luke has been. You need competition everywhere, and obviously Barton wants to make every position quality and where you're fighting for places. What have you got on there as at the moment?
The number one pick I'd go for would be Lee Peltier. Now he's been released, to be honest. I think he's more than capable of playing in League One. You know, these sort of players like to work with Barton. You've seen that his pulling power. I think Peltier is the one that I'd go for.
Yeah, that's an interesting, because obviously he's on the older side, but he's well capable enough of doing
suits
it.
Luca Hall as well, doesn't it? If it suits Luca Hall as well, because then you've got a mentor then to learn off of, and Peltier's done it in the Championship for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good. I was going to say, with how many more midfielders do you think we'll sign as in centre midfielders? Because obviously now at the moment you got obviously Coots, Finley, Rossiter, obviously still got Westbrook, but here be gone. So that's sort of free. Obviously Evans is more of obviously in the attacking, but like we've seen in the second part of last season, we brought him back a little bit more. Joey brought him back a bit more to keep us a bit more, solid in the midfield and sort of break with his sort of long passes, long through balls, etc. Do you think there'll be any more?
I think especially in that double screen area, it's probably going to be a high volume sort of area that he's going to want to have plenty of bodies available to him. I mean, the Josh Grant one's lovely for us because he's so versatile. With his fit, he can sort of slot in everywhere. But Josh Grant's probably going to sit down at some point and go, look, I need to be playing somewhere regularly rather than just filling holes for me. Else I'm just going to be a glorified Phil Neville, and so he needs to nail down something and have a position to get his teeth stuck into. But I do think he will be used there as cover, to be honest, Josh Grant, if needs be, when the odd suspension crops up. But I wouldn't be surprised if another one comes in, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 30 plus. So, Whelan's gone out the door. You might want another one for the change room. I mean, I sort of penciled in someone like Bradley Johnson just to come in, been there, done it, won promotions. He's been there, done it. He's good for the change room. He'd be good for the training ground as well. That one to sort of wheelo out him in, I think it'd be good, because again, I think if you look at these players and if their mentality's right, they're not knocking around League One for a payday. They're just going to go, well, if you're going to have a shot at this, I'll come and be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, because he's been around the Wani. I think, what is he, 34?
Got legs on him though. Can still get around a pitch. You know what I mean?
Maybe a year younger. Even when he played against. Yeah, I remember when he played against us for Leeds when the season when we was up there, we was 1-0 up, and then they beat us to win the league or get promoted. So.
We ain't going to get that Bradley Johnson. Don't get me wrong, but I just think for influence around the place, and you look at the influence someone like Coots and Whelan had on that change room and the changing ground and like the culture and mentality. Mm-hmm. I think Johnson can come and add to it.
Yeah,
and play a bit.
Yeah, because all the players have said, aren't they? All of them, Taylor, Connolly, they all said, it does obviously really help. And yeah, when you've got that quality, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, sort of how many more signings we do get, because obviously we've only signed one. There's going to be a few more. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, I think we've gone through a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts, different topics to talk about. Of course, gone over the signing as well in Rossiter. If you, of course, have only just tuned in, then feel free to watch back the whole stream or the bits that you missed. Feel free to check out my other video earlier if you want it in a bit of a shorter topic. Yeah, Gordo saying as well, when I seen the release list, I would have liked Ladapo, but he went to Ipswich. Yeah, he's quality signing that for Ipswich on a free transfer as well. I think they've got to be out there with this season. They finished last season well, but
I think they'll walk it, mate. I think Ipswich will walk it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think they run away with it. I think they win it by sort of 8 to 10 points. I do.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Well, obviously, Ollie's second-hand man there, isn't it? Now, Kieran McKenna. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of good managers, and even when it comes to Fleetwood, Scott Brown, that's going to be interesting. Scott Brown and Barton. I mean, you watch now, first game of the season, it'll be Fleetwood at home. Scott Brown and Barton punch-up written all over it. Honestly.
I'd take that though as a fixture because Brown's not going to get his teeth into anything, is he? He's just going to be blank canvas and send these players out. He's had a pre-season, but there's no continuity there for your team. I'd take someone with a brand new manager on the opening day because they haven't had time to evolve or start ticking over.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, obviously, fixtures. I'm not sure currently what I'm going to do. Whether I'm going to do a live stream straight away in the morning, or a normal video, or do a live stream like we've done tonight in the evening and then discuss it. I'll probably do it in the evenings, but just keep an eye on socials. Obviously, my socials are in the description along with Neil's Twitter as well. But yeah, Mike saying great show, fellas. Exciting times to be a gas at the gas. Appreciate it. But yeah, gonna end it now. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Great interaction as always. Really do appreciate it. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty of more content, all the latest updates, news surrounding Bristol Rovers on this channel. Do smash a like, subscribe if you already haven't, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas.